So this is
always... No. It's the environmental, Horst, it's the environmental directive. And there's the plastics, the ban of plastics. And it would be interesting to know how Sweden is getting rid of the plastic tax in accordance to European law. So give us an advice. So it's very good, Christian.
National use taxes as a tool, but it's not necessary to do. It's not...
like we have to lower some tax on plastics.
Yeah, it's not made by the European Union. It's only one tool to fulfill the targets of the European Union.
So the Germans are, as usually, really how to gold plating us.
We usually do that as well. So
it's funny. It's very funny. So let's have a look. It's what time is it? It's 8 past. We just wait a little bit. Rainer or Julia, can you just unmute and let me know? Oh, Alexander, excellent.
Hello,
Alexander, greetings. You are in Kiev or where you're sitting?
Yeah, I'm in Kiev. So greetings from Kiev. Sorry, Grigol, I couldn't take part today. So
no.
Don't mind. I will represent him. On today's meeting.
You're more than welcome. It's excellent that you're with us. It's we are by heart. So in victory to Ukraine, huh?
Thank you so much.
Fine, excellent. So we just wait some minutes because officially we start at 15:15. We have some minutes left, and I know from Lithuania, I know that I have sent a WhatsApp to several of our colleagues, and so we will have a look who and when is someone joining. Okay, 12 participants. I just have a look. German taxpayers, Ukraine, Swedish taxpayers, and our new colleague from Denmark who wants to found an association, Martin Agarap. He's on his way, so maybe he can join too. So that's also good. Wait a second. Okay. So we start 15:15. Huh? Okay, let's just switch off my phone. Unmute. Hallo Rainer, ich sehe, dass du das German Taxpayers, ich sehe. Hallo, okay, perfekt.
Bin dabei.
Sehr schön, ja, wenn muss auch nicht mit. Who is not able with the picture doesn't matter, but we just wait some minutes because officially we start 15:15. And let's just switch off I just unmute and we'll be back 15:15. Okay.
Servus.
Hallo Ralf, grüß dich, grüß dich. Wir fangen pünktlich an um Viertel nach. Wir haben noch 4 Minuten. Andreas Fasching, he will just let everybody in. So, let's have a look. Participants. I'll just check the participants. Still miss our colleagues from UK. They wanted to join, and also our Portuguese colleague. Andi, hörst du mich? Okay, okay, okay. Und Blick drauf. Okay, du schaust, hast einen Blick drauf? Okay, dann start. Okay, alles klar, danke, Joe. So, 3 minutes left. So, okay. So, I just shared the agenda. Just we have sent to you by email, and just that you have seen that we start now, quarter past, and I welcome everybody. And Andreas, he will let all the late arrivals in. It's just a formal meeting, what we need, and just to share experience. And also Horst Heitz, who is today in Munich. I am in Brussels in our office, so we just changed for today. And I will meet later the sweet industry of Germany. They have a event here in Brussels, and that's going also to fight bureaucracy. It will be one of our topics today. So I welcome everybody. and especially our guests from Ukraine. You're more than welcome. I know that it's not easy for you to participate, and greetings to Grigor, Alexander. Everybody who is able to participate is more than welcome, and we really appreciate and welcome when you join our digital events. And we all hope that we will be able meeting us as soon as possible live again. So we start very, very short approval of the agenda. So I think if someone has a proposal, the agenda is always like we need it for the Belgium law. So I think it's not a big problem for us, and just a short report. And maybe I can hand over to Horst. Horst, maybe you want to explain a little bit what you did also with our committees and the new way what we did now in Brussels. And at the end, topic 9, we will talk about the Stop EU Bureaucracy. But maybe you want to just tell a little bit about our office in Brussels, what it did the last months. What's the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. So first 2024 was the elections of the European Parliament. So everything stopped end of March, and we had a break until September. I think this was a good break because we had already 30,000 legislation in the last 5 years on the European level. So this was a new record, not I have to say, not the first record, but one of the, but compared to United States, who had 11,000 regulation at the same time. So we are really global leader in this point. But we had the break, then there was the focus to meet the new parliament. There was the shift. We have now 60% center-right parties, but this is problematic in the composition because there's a corridor sanitaire between the European People's Party, who was again the largest party in the European Parliament. The ECR, the EPP is not cooperating with Patriots or with the Europeans for, I forgot always the name, where they and then the others are members, the new far-right group. So there's always a conflict line because there are this so-called pro-European parties. This is the Socialists, the Greens, the Liberals, and the EPP. But they are already breaking out conflicts because the left wants to shift or to push the EPP in the line of their policy of the last 5 years. And this is, of course, a huge danger because the people voted differently. They want to have a change on the European level. But at the same time, the lefts are playing with the center party that they would break the democratic rules if they would work together with the far rights. The far rights, I have to say, it's complicated. ECR is with Meloni is recognized by the EPP. For others, like the Socialists and Greens, are still not an acceptable partner. But I have to say, Renew is already half-half, so it is mixed. Then we have, of course, the Patriots, where we have Geert Wilders and Orban in the group. But if we see there's many conflict lines inside these groups, because if you see Netherlands, only as an example, Ukraine policy, who is the full support for Ukraine by the Netherlands, by Geert Wilders' government. And at the same time, Orban's government is for no support for Ukraine, in fact. So there are several lines, and I have to say, if we have a closer look to Hungary, there are a lot of competition problems and unfair competition who is coming up. What's on the plate? What's especially Austria and Germany is complaining a lot about this. So it is not so that the far rights are then always more in favor for free markets and free competition. What we tried to have visibility. Michael Jäger was as president several times in Brussels, was a speaker at several events, and to promote this, the taxpayers are present, because also nearly 70% of the MEPs are new, so we have to educate them that which are the landscape of the associations in Brussels. So Michael did a good job. He was very often here. I think every 2 weeks in Brussels is a lot of efforts. And we established for a new initiative who will come, but we prepared the ground, the Stop Bureaucracy Initiative. We will hear later more, but we prepared the ground together with Christoph Leitner from the European Business Circle, and we have already corporations. We presented this, but we need still to build up the concept and how we want with the strategy we have to fulfill, and also which resources we have, and how we will do this also on the member states level. And the Taxpayers Association joined the Better Regulation Forum. It means this is also not a new topic, but how we can avoid that bureaucracy always is coming out of this legislative process. It means why this SME test is not working, why the public hearings are not transparent. There's a lot of topics that are popping up, why it is like it is, and why we have these results that in the end we have a legislation which is not functional. And then on the end, we have also, of course, always core tax topics. This is the VAT, European VAT topic, what is still now in the discussion, what will be now, I think, published in next year. And then we will have also a closer look there. Then we have to say who is very active is always the American taxpayers movement. They are always here also in Brussels. They have this more the ECR directly cooperation and trying always to cooperate with us. And yeah, we have to see where is the benefits, because like Michael always say, they don't inform us what they are doing. And the point is that this is the European continent is for the European taxpayers. They should search the cooperation with us and not we to them. So it's a little bit complicated. So this was a broad overview, and I think we prepare this now well that we have then in the future in 2025 really a new concept. Michael will present it, how we will have a strategic approach of activities and visibility, and which issues we want to tackle and what we want to achieve in the next 5 years. Please, Michael, floor is yours. You're muted. You're muted.
Okay, Horst, thank you, Horst, very much. Horst mentioned the election this year, and we did lots also last year. Today is also the report of 2023. And in November last year, we had an event in the European Parliament, thanks to our cooperation with SME Connect. And we presented our demands for the election, and nothing has changed. And also what is very interesting to me, since 87, we had the 10 taxpayers commandments. They were adopted a little bit. And what we did at the beginning of the year, although the point of view of the taxpayers. So there's a strong movement for more bureaucracy, increasing taxes, more regulation. And that's not according to what we see in the economic freedom. So low taxes and efficiency. So we have really to have a look. And if you read about our press release, we have also sent out Draghi, the strategic paper. There's some interesting points inside for deregulation, but what is not in our sense when he says he needs every year 1 trillion, not 1 billion, 1 trillion euro we need for to develop European Union between 700 billion and 1 trillion. So we have really to take care that, because this will be by indebtedness for sure, or increasing taxes. So someone has to pay the bill. And that's really the focus for us. Please, Horst.
Forgot to mention, of course, the Commission. There's a good development that Dombrovskis is now responsible to fight bureaucracy, and Dombrovskis is a long-term friend of us. So I think there could be a very good cooperation.
Yes.
And for this is a plus, even if perhaps is not. Yeah, I think she perhaps not the biggest help, but perhaps he. And once this was coming out in the long-term cooperation with Monika Hohlmeier and with Markus Pieper, the Commission give out new rules how NGOs has to use the life funding, because you have to imagine between 2019 and 2024, the NGOs get for green projects 5.4 billion euros. And they use this for lobbying in the European Parliament, in the European Commission, and they made huge campaigns against others, against us, against other associations. And now they say it's forbidden to use this money anymore for that the European that the Commission is financing campaigns through this live that the Greens can tackle and attack own political agenda against centers. And I have to say, this is really a huge success. It's not cut the budget, it's not cut it, but at least the use.
Yes, no, but that's a very good news with Dombrovskis. So our networking is very fruitful, and I just go back to our press releases. In the beginning of 2024, we awarded the former finance minister of Austria, Brunner, because Austria was doing, it was a recommendation by our colleague from Austrian Taxpayers Association, Oliver Kinter, who will join later. And we awarded in Munich. He wanted to be awarded not in Brussels, he wanted to do it in Munich. And we awarded him. And what is really, for us, what is really good, he is the commissioner now for migration. So we have a very good contact to several commissioners. I have to say it honestly, to our German commissioner, we have a relation, but I don't know if von der Leyen will follow what she promised to the industrial Green Deal. So with a focus for small, medium entrepreneurs and a focus to growth. So we have really to do much lobby work, and that's why Horst and I wanted to be more efficient with our small budget to do much more. And that it's also, if it's coming to Ukraine, we want to assist to build up the Ukraine, but in an efficient way. So money only to collect money is not enough. We have really to ensure efficiency of spending. If it comes to our budget for defense, according to NATO agreement, 2% of gross national product should be invested. But if you look how weak and how inefficient the Germans invest in defense, so we should not say we need 2%. So, but we need at first a more efficient way of public spending, and so maybe a common approach. And these are the really topics we have to take care. And if it's back to the Draghi report, there's a vision, less bureaucracy, but there's also a vision of some people in the Commission to spend much more money to create a new condition with subsidies and to develop politics in the directions they want by increasing subsidies. And that's not in our sense, because someone has to pay the bill nationally in the countries. And so we have really to take care, and especially if it comes to the recovery of Ukraine, this will cost a huge amount of money, and we need strong partners. Also, Ukraine, we have to think about how we can build it up. So I want to share now. Later, Laura, you can give a short report. Maybe I want just to share some figures to you, very brief, to talk about our total budget. Wait, that is the wrong. That's it. The second one. I just wait a second. Sorry, it's where is it? Summary of the budget. As you all know, we have a very small amount of money with membership fees. Some of the smaller associations are not even able to contribute, and those are our revenues for the year 2023 was around 31,400 euro, and we had some contributions by the European Economic Senate and partners. Also this year we will get some amount to finance things. And for the year 2023 we had expenditures. We already paid also parts of our taxpayers award 44,577, what gives us an operative minus, but it's not a problem because faced to our bank account, we had enough money on our bank account. So it was an operative deficit of 6,270, 227 euro 99 cent. Actually, we have 5,872 euro on our bank account, and we'll still get some money from partners, Bavarian Association, and also the European Economic Senate. So we are very, very stable, and I just want to share that you see, but then Laura audited it. You can see the total. We have not too many accounts, so we were starting with the Commerzbank. If you see, the opening was 30,000 euro, and we finished with 24,000. So you see, if it comes to this membership fees, we had less events during the period of COVID. We were more active in the last 2 years, so for sure we have to invest a little bit more. But it's the main costs is rental of our office. But I have really to say it honestly, thank you, Horst. That's a very cheap amount, 14,000 euro to be part of this office. And so we all work volunteer. That you have always to know that most of the work is done volunteers, especially by my colleagues of Bavaria, and we all work volunteer. And also thanks to Ralf Schneider, who joined us, who is the president of the Journalists Association, who tries to coordinate Eastern Europe. So we are all very active and try our very best. And maybe Laura, you can give a short report of the audit, because Bulgaria has not yet joined. So if you want to give a short report, Laura, the floor is yours.
Yeah, as usual, I have seen all the figures, and everything is carefully made, and I prove all this data. And yeah, it's Michael explained everything what is in, so I don't need to explain it twice, and just confirm it.
Thank you very much. So then we will later talk a little bit of our work, Horst and I, because it's a different topic, it's a presentation of a Stop EU Bureaucracy campaign, but that's later. So we finished topic 2 report of the board and auditors activities, actual European situation, and we come to top 3, approval of the board's acts. So I would like to ask you if you accept what we did. If someone is against, I just will have a look. Wait, I make a total gallery and my view gallery. So I don't see anything. Christian, everything's fine for you, and Alexander, everything's fine for you. Rainer already agreed, so then we can close it, and we close this topic. So it's just a formal thing. We make the minutes first for our administration here in Brussels. So we come to top 4, membership fee and budget. So we have nothing to change, but it's part of the statutes registered in Belgium. So Alexander, that's really bureaucratic. So it's there's no change in the membership fee. We have a basic fee, and according to the size and what we decided, what is also helpful for Ukraine, that our associations who are not able to finance or to support us and to give the contribution, for sure you don't have to, because if you're in a war, it's good that you work for the taxpayers. I see all your Facebook publications. You're more than welcome, and you do an excellent greetings really to Ukraine, to our colleagues, an excellent job. And I see our new colleague from Portugal. Welcome. So thank you very much that you joined.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Thanks a lot.
And you're more than welcome. And you later you can talk a little bit. We will ask our colleagues. So we have nothing to decide. We have our actual budget, and we'll send it with the actual invoice and everything during the next weeks. So we continue as we did it before. We will have a support by our Taxpayers Association. We do lots of research work with the German Association, and what we did new. That's what we try also to boost a little bit. we have refounded a European Institute for Public Finance. Christian, that's interesting also. Gustavo, for you maybe in Portugal, we have a new institute. We reactivated it, as also Johannes Maroschik, our press officer and public relation manager. And we refounded it, and we have a cooperation with the University for Applied Science in Munich, what is really good for us. So we have a really strong partner with the university. And Richard Bayer, who is a lawyer and tax advisor, who is really familiar with international tax law, he will assist us, and he's running as a director the institute. So in future we will be able to publish. And what Horst said, if you see that the think tanks and the left and green associations get more than 5 billion euro of the European Commission. It's unbelievable. And we, with a small budget, try to make the best for the taxpayers in Europe. It's very a crazy situation. There's a big gap between them and us, but we try our best, and we try to finance our European Institute for Public Finance by funding. So we will not get state subsidies, but we try. And so if things are interesting for you also, Christian, if you need a research, we have students, we have professors, bachelor, master. If they need a topic, let's think about how we can use this institute. It's really also, Ralph, what we can really do. And then when I see Ralph, his wife is doing her doctorate to define what is waste on the European level. So there's no legal definition until today, and that's also what we can use to talk about what is waste, what we see. Waste of Nations, what Christian started. We have a web page now. What is waste? And then if you have crazy stories to be published, we have our black book, pumpable. Editor in chief of the German Taxpayers Association will be published every year. So this could be an idea, Castillo, if you need assistance for the new associations. Martin visited us from Denmark, who joined and visited us in Munich. So we had a very nice time, and beside I was flashed by police picking you up at the airport. That was the only bad thing. Everything was fine, but this was really ugly. But that's life. That's life. We are driving fast, so we have a control. No, but we make training programs. We really try to exchange. Castillo, we went also to Portugal. We really hope that you become strong in your country and you do the best for all of your taxpayers. And we need this exchange. You're welcome in our club, and let's start. You have also Christian. So if you have any other member of the board, if you have any questions, and if you need public relations assistance, we have Ralf Schneider and our colleagues. So that's for the membership fee and the budget. So there will be no changes. We will get some more money to finance the upcoming event next year, and in February by the European Economic Senate. And then I close topic 4, and we come to topic 5, election of the board and officials. There are no election necessary in principle, but I have to tell you a very bad thing, and a moment of silence of our friend Alfred Gera, who died this year, and he was our treasurer. And so we lost a very good friend and a good partner, and we will do the next time the memory. So he's still in our heart, and it was really from one day to another day when he died. And we have one proposal because we have already cooperation with René Noaldin, who is a member of the Bavarian Taxpayers Association, and he's manager of a Bavarian Association too. He's also treasurer. He's in the car. He has been in Passau now with René. There's lots of flashlight. And so our proposal is just that we replace Alfred Gerauer by René Noaldin. Why? Because he's all in the house, and we make the bookkeeping with the Bavarian Association, and it's easier also for Laura to exchange, and you have a direct access. So that's why, as a good tradition, Alfred was also a member of our association, that we propose as a treasurer for this rest of our period, René Noeldin. So if you agree, if everybody agrees, is someone against? Let's say nobody. Christian, you accept it? It's fine for you? Okay. So I have to ask René if you have accepted. Just give us the sign. The election, yes? Hand up or
Yes,
no?
yes, Michael, thank you very much. I accept the election. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. And second proposal, and that's why it's good to see Kerstin Kellis. She's running also public relation and digital appearance of the European Economic Senate. And Horst, he replaced me as a Secretary General. I replaced Rolf von Hohenau. I have to greet you all. And his name, who is sorry by an accident, he was not able. He was today in a hospital. He's not allowed to travel. And he greets everybody and hope that next time we met in Brussels and save the date later, also 19th of February, please save the date. So Horst has become our Secretary General, but Horst has a simple problem. He is a very intellectual person, very engaged person. What makes it, and he's also working like I working volunteer for the European movement. And so he has to earn also some money, so he cannot share his person. And we need also structure. So we need more support, and that's why we propose Kerstin Kellis as a Deputy Secretary General. Because she's already writing to the colleagues, please send us your data, that she has an official function. Actually, she's manager of the Bavarian Association, but so then it makes life much easier. So and I hope it's not, we don't have really to elect, but I would have, would say, a vote, strong voting. She's doing an excellent job, and we want to strengthen our media activities. So it's together with Johannes Maroschik, she already started to update the European Economic Web page, and now we will continue with our European Taxpayers web page, European Institute for Public Finance. So we want really to strengthen our network, and that's why we propose Kerstin to be the official. And so if someone is against, let us know. Just give, I don't see anything. So you accept Christian Castillo, everything's fine for you, Laura, Johannes, so fine. So Kerstin, you accept this fantastic role. And I can tell you, since I work for the taxpayers officially as a Secretary General in 96, every year I doubled my salary. Every year, because it's zero. So we doubled every year since 96. So now welcome to the club. And thank you for your engagement, and you give very good advice, not only if you translate things, but also with your expertise. And she was working also for American corporate. She's also an entrepreneur, so she knows. And with her daughter, she knows the family situation, she knows the tax situation, bureaucracy, and she loves to drive to Munich when you see the change by bureaucracy and by the Greens, what they did to us. It's not, so she knows everything from the active side as an employee, but also with self-employed, single one-person corporate. She knows really how things are going on. That's necessary. It's practical experience, and you already assisted us in 2016 when we had our event in World Taxpayers event in Berlin. So I close this topic 2, if you accept, and then we come to report of national members. And so, Christian, maybe you can report a little bit, and Castillo, what you did, and then also our friend Alexander. I hope I don't see him yet, but maybe he can also give some insights on the Ukrainian situation. And we later, maybe Rainer can tell a little bit about the German activities, what we did. We are very active, and we have to be active, sorry, because we'll have a new government, what makes not our life not easy. So maybe, Christian, tell something about your success story. You get rid of the plastic tax. Tell us how you did it.
So we abolished quite a lot of taxes in Sweden, or we're gonna abolish them. We abolished the plastic bag tax this November, actually. We lowered the tax on wet tobacco in Sweden. We call it snus or snuff. Tax lowered there. We lowered the taxes on expert workers. We'll do that from the beginning of January. We'll lower our highest marginal taxes by 3% starting after New Year. We will have a new reduction of taxes on work income starting January as well. We'll have no tax on savings in a special account for sums up to 15,000 euros. So we'll have no tax on savings, and later on that will be for 30,000 euros. So that's good. And we've had some successes with lowering taxes for certain groups of people that have their income from pensions. So we've had a good year and having a even better next year. We have our current government is led by the Conservative Party, and that's obviously good for taxes. It's not that good for us though, because every time taxes are lowered, we are having a hard time getting new members. So
Yes.
we would really like not new taxes, but threats about new taxes that won't be finalized. So I'm speaking to the finance minister about that. We need a property tax discussion in Sweden. We don't need a property tax, but we need a discussion about it. So right now, the most urgent thing we're doing is the Waste of the Year award. So we have a waste ombudsman who is gathering examples of waste, and he's immensely popular in social media. On Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. He's huge. So now we have the 10 different examples of waste with the taxpayers' money that Swedish people can vote on. And we have already, just the first week, have had like 10,000 votes, I think. And that's really good. So we'll see which contribution will win this year. But this is a huge competition, and he's been on podcasts and Swedish television and in a lot of newspapers regarding this competition, which is not that glamorous to win, but it's very it creates a lot of buzz in social media and in traditional media. So that's what's going on in Sweden.
And Christian, can you send me just a summary, and then we can publish it also on the webpage, and it would be interesting to share it. Also, success stories. That's what we do with the minutes of this meeting. As a congratulation. And what you said, it's really funny because we have the same experience. You know, we had the real estate tax, Grundsteuer. That's a reform in Germany. And we succeeded in Bavaria. That's the first time that on the country level, so the regional level, you can decide on the system of this tax. So we in Bavaria decided, in accordance with our finance minister, together with the tax advisors and house owners association, we succeeded, and we forced German government to open it to a kind of competition. And we just have a tax base on square meters in Bavaria, what makes it really, really easy. And other countries have a relation combined to the value of the real estate. And now we have a very, very brutal and really raw situation that in some of these cities in North Rhine-Westphalia and Baden-Württemberg, they have an increase more than 20,000%. Can you imagine?
Oh, wow. That's insane.
We were attacked by the Greens and left wing because if you're rich, if you live in Grünwald in a rich area with a square meter, you have the same amount to pay like in Hasenberg, what is a weaker area in Munich, and what is really crazy. Because it makes it much easier. For sure, you could say, yes, the value is higher, but we simplified it. And if you simplify a system, Castello, that is very interesting. It's not always fair. But in the total view, it's a good system because it makes things easier. So we have increasing real estates value in Germany, mostly. This lead automatically to higher revenues in future because they will not cut down the rate of the tax. So that's really, really bad. And so our square meter based taxation is a fair system. For sure, although in this system you have some losers and some winners, but it's a much easier system. And what was the result? We had no single new member in Bavaria, even if we did a very good success. We had a very good success in North Rhine-Westphalia, where people are suffering. They become now member of the taxpayers movement, but they cannot change it. So if it's very crazy situation, if the situation is bad, for sure, if it's an economic situation is too bad, first people cut the membership and will not donate anymore. But if there's a kind of pressure, a really bad situation, increasing bureaucracy, people are willing more to donate and people are willing more to contribute to become member. That's a crazy situation, but I just want to tell you this. And so the next speaker, Castello, maybe you introduce yourself. You're the new head with the new Portuguese association. Welcome, and just tell a little bit about your work and your association, please.
Okay, good afternoon to everybody. Thanks, Michael. You are one of the inspiration, as well as Christian, to start the association in Portugal. We met in April last year, and yeah, we just starting. In Portugal, it's a very statist country. It's very difficult to talk about taxes in Portugal because, I mean, I think it's very common to Europe. About half of the population don't pay income taxes. It's just the other half that pays. So it's not very popular when it comes to elections. On the other hand, we are starting. It's an uphill battle. We talked, and thank you very much, Christian from Sweden. We had a meeting with you 2 weeks ago. We're trying to learn from experience. We hope to have the same experience that you had, that we dropped the number of associates because we lower taxes, but we are very far from it. We are just starting, so we want to learn from experience. I think in Portugal, talking about taxes is still difficult. We are trying to define the best strategy, learning from experience of you guys that have done it for many years. I think we are already getting some attention from the media, which is a good start. As you said, Michael, I think, for instance, income tax is very difficult because people really don't feel it. There's not people are very illiterate when it comes to taxes, especially voters. When you come to land taxes, people have to make an action to pay them. In Portugal, 3 times a year. So it's easier to tackle that, to get the attention, than going to income tax, which is deducted from their monthly payroll. Another thing in Portugal very important is social security, especially pensions. The younger generation is being highly taxed to pay for retirees. I mean, it's common, I think, in Europe. There's a demographic winter coming, but in Portugal, since the pension system is pay as you go, it's 0% capitalized, is all paid by the state. There is an intergenerational issue, so we're trying to get there to make the younger generation conscious that they are paying and they want to get the same income when they retire. so this is we are still in the process of defining our main key selling points, but definitely pensions will be one of them, and broadening my view, I think this will be one of the most important aspects in Europe. If in Europe, south of France, where we have pay-as-you-go, state-financed, out of the yearly budget pension system, which will, looking at demographics, will be unsustainable in the future. And you have northern France, northern Europe, where still they have some capitalization of the social security. And I think this will be a key tension in the euro, because we have a common financial system, common currencies, but the hidden cost of the future pensions in Southern Europe will be a big issue. So I think this is one of the things we're trying to tackle and to make people very conscious of this. But again, we are still thinking about what will be one or two, three ideas where we can gain traction. As I said, we are already starting getting some recognition in the media, and I think it will be 2025 will be an important year for us to get traction and to get membership. Our initial strategy is to get as more members as possible, even with sacrificing revenues. And then when we have already some significant membership, to become part of the discussion when it comes to the yearly budget of the government. So this is our strategy. And thanks to all of you, Michael and Stefan, Christian in particular, for the support you've given us.
You're more than welcome. So for us, it's not a question of big or small association. We need taxpayers movement in all countries, and everybody tries to do the best. And we share experience, and that's what we try. Also, maybe Christian can tell something about our activities, what we try in the eastern part and the Baltics. So we really try to reactivate, and that's also the aim with Kerstin, to have a network. So for sure, we have bigger and stronger associations. We have some associations like the French Association. I invited some, but they didn't join today. They are more nationalistic, surely. But that's also, we have to accept it, but we still want to cooperate with them, because to get also with our friends from UK, they left European Union, but in the European EVL economic area, finally they have to fulfill all the criteria. Boss knows it even better than I. Even Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Norway, if you're not member of the European Union, you have to fulfill our laws finally. And so that's also bureaucracy. So for them it's also important, because they have increasing costs if they have to implement things. So they really should support us if we try to ban bureaucracy and to do the best. And so Castillo just send me also some short remarks, what you did, what is your plan, so that we can share it with the other associations. And please have a look also to our webpage, that we update everything. And what I started today, maybe Kerstin, we make a short WhatsApp group for our leading persons, Laura also with the taxpayers. You don't have to reply, so that we just can keep you informed. I think that's interesting too. And let's just have a look if Alexander, if you can speak, if you want to talk a little bit about the Ukrainian situation. I hope that the connection is still working. Alexander, can you hear us? Or the connection lost? That's really for sure. This could be the situation. And I have just to look if our friend from Denmark. Oh, here he lost connection too, but it doesn't matter. So we met. We met in Munich with our colleague from Denmark. They are in the founding process, and we also recommended to connect to be connected to Christian to see how you work, and then the UK, and then also Canadians for the Taxpayers Association, just to have the different views and not to copy a system blind. And Castillo, if you want, you can normally download also the publication How to Start. If you don't have it, I can send it to you. What we did, it's a summary of all the taxpayers' experience. It was written by Björn Taras Wahlberg, and we assisted with the Bavarian and other associations, the Swedish association. So we took all the good examples together, and it's a guideline. It's just a reservoir for you what you can do. So you could copy the idea. Maybe was what Christian did with the black book in a different way what we did. So there's a very interesting approach. If you fight bureaucracy, if you fight taxation, say here's now a success story with tax cuts. We very successful with the German Taxpayers Association if it comes to our black book, our publication and research work what we did, and now we will prepare also the tax reform. It's a very interesting topic. But we also had to fight, for instance, with the new election, the Greens, the Socialists, the left wing wanted to increase tax pressure. So it's the opposite way, Christian. They want to increase inheritance tax. We have a good example why you stopped it in Sweden with a very good success. Wealth tax, reactivating increase of corporate income tax, increase of income tax, and then what is Ralph knows it as an entrepreneur too. He dislikes it, and we all look how we can live in such a condition, and if you can leave, and if you found a corporate, like Ralph is thinking about it, to with his consultancy, to it's not too bad to have it officially in Bulgaria if you pay less. But I think it's the wrong situation if you have to leave the country to survive. It's stupid. And that's what Sweden did. If you had the increasing inheritance tax, IKEA and others left, and now people come back, and you benefit out of it. So it will be the same law in Ukraine. If the country must be rebuilt, you need a very good strategy not to make an over taxation for those who left, because that's also you need lots of money. But I think growth is the best advice. Then you will have increasing revenue. So that's really important. So sorry, Alexander is not really connected. I see his icon, but maybe he can join. I don't know. Rainer was out for 5 minutes to give an interview, so we are very active. Rainer, you're with us, or you're still in the interview? So it's not actually with us. But we will do a workshop, or Julia Berg, if you want to report, you can make a break. The idea we have the next time when we met in Brussels, maybe we can combine it, that we arrive a little bit earlier for an exchange course that we use this, and just an offer, or Christian, that we can do it also in Berlin. We can think about it. We have advertising and communication. I'm head of this committee together with René Noeldin. We do a workshop, for instance. We met this Thursday with all the leaders and of the national regional associations, and I'm the responsible member of the German board with the exchange. We call it working group. Werbung, so recruitment and advertising, public relation, and we can share. We did it already. Maybe that's an idea. Although with the World Taxpayers, when we met next time, I don't know where the next World Taxpayers meeting will take place. Castillo said we can share experience. Laura knows it. You joined when you were more active with the National Association. We had a really good exchange also with Ukraine, and so we can learn from each other. So we close this topic 6, and I just want to share very briefly our new campaign, and Horst can talk about it, so that we just share a little bit the reports. Can you see it? Stop EU bureaucracy. Can you see it? Sieht man das, Horst? Okay. Oh, that's our new campaign. And for all of you, bureaucracy nationally and on the European level is a topic. And we just started, and we financed the webpage in Horst. We are looking also for funding now. Maybe you can report about the cooperation, with whom we work together, and it's open. You can also have your logo with your Taxpayers Association on the webpage if it's needed. Christian, you can use it. The topics, it's very, very simple. There are 4 main aims: to cut down bureaucracy to 20 to 25%. We need impact assessment. So what is the impact of new regulation? There is no really impact assessment. So we have new laws with a huge impact, let's say reporting, sustainable reporting directive and others. And we want that this is really calculated because it's necessary. There are lots of ideas of what is was reported, how many regulation we had in the last 5 years. So with the world champion, Europe is the world champion in implementing new laws. And we want to stop it. And there was a promise by the reporting obligation of the European entrepreneurs that, and von der Leyen wants to reduce it. And we do not want only a cut of reporting obligation, we want really bureaucracy stop and reduction. And we need also, Horst mentioned people who should be the SME spokesperson, but sorry to other commissioners, he stopped and he didn't go for it. And so we need also for entrepreneurs finally a voice in the system, and also efficiency. We should really look, is a new regulation fruitful? Is there the change what we want? If not, get rid of it. Stop it. So in Horst, now the floor is yours to tell a little bit what we did in the European Parliament and what is the next plan. Horst, please.
So we presented this initiative in the community in Brussels. So of course, this is the bubble, and they are European organization, but you can reach out to many organizations at once. The point is now we wanted first to see what is the reaction, but in fact, there is a lot of interest. We had for the first event over 120 registration from associations and companies. This is also very interesting. The point is now what we are doing with how we can create out of this interest also an active movement, because we wanted only to bring the idea, to bring the frame and push in a direction. But we have here not the resources and also not the network in whole Europe to make a European-wide campaign on a high level. So the point is we want to plan to have more information activities online or in your member states to inform what we are doing, what are our targets, and how we want to implement this. And in the end, we want to ask everybody who is doing to sign. This is the minimum. The second organization who is doing something active to send it out to their members, to put the activity to the website, or doing events about this or information, can have a logo on our website that they are supporting this. Or they donate some money or whatever, what they can do. Then they can have also a logo on the website that they publicly visible is that they are doing and fighting against bureaucracy. This is the one thing what we want to do. Like we have really to work out. You will get a paper from me and Michael, where we have something like a roadmap, what we are planning and which kind of resources minimum we will use, or what we can count on support, and what would be the best. The second thing is that we are addressing now also companies. And companies are interested. Maybe for another big company saying this is something what we would like to support, but they need a full transparency. They need something like compliance that we are, how we are financed and so on. This we are creating at the moment because they have here still a lot of bureaucracy inside also. I have to say, so many companies were coming to us and were complaining. If everybody would support us with 100 euros per year, we would have a 1 million campaign, because there's so many, they are so angry about this. But in the end, you have really to push them to do something. They can complain, but they're doing nothing. This is the main problem. And I have to say, of course, NGOs, green NGOs have it better because they have taxpayers' money, not from others. So in the end, it's not about that we need 500 millions or 50 millions or whatever, but that we bring together 100, 200,000 euros for a campaign who should be European-wide. That should be the minimum what we want to get together. And the last thing is, of course, bureaucracy to explain to the normal people. Social media we want to use more. And I have to say, if you speak in Brussels about competitiveness and everything, the people are not interested, or they understand the other problems in the economy, or they're afraid we have to work more. Bureaucracy, this is everybody understanding. If he's employed or he's a pensionist, bureaucracy is something that nobody likes. And I have to say, this is a huge chance for business sector, political movement here, no momentum. If we don't manage it now, we will never manage it to have really a campaign. And I think in the end, there can become out, if you're doing this well, even a political movement. Because then they cannot, there's a huge potential. The point is, of course, how professional we can do this. That means how we can get this visibility, I think, digital, how we can do campaigning on social media, how we can activate our networks, how we get in touch with people also analog. And then in question is how, which kind of resources we can count. And this is the most problematic thing, because if we're doing something, it will be a success for this, but it will be never this kind of movement we want to do. I was also in contact with other associations or initiatives. There are a lot of stop bureaucracy initiatives. We should really bring them once all together and saying, you fighting against bureaucracy, we are doing this. Why we don't work all together? Because everybody's making a little bit. It's here and there. We have the neue soziale Marktwirtschaft initiative. They're fighting against bureaucracy. We should make a list and really say, we invite everybody who is fighting against bureaucracy, how we can work together as a network.
Yes.
So this is
Thank you, Urs. I think that's a really, Christian, a really interesting topic. So we just started. We how to say, under the radar, because otherwise, if you start, Horst and I, we were discussing if we can make a European referendum. You need 1 million supporters, and we are not strong enough, actually, Christian. Sorry, not. But what we did, we started with this web page. It's a very simple web page. Everybody can translate it, Christian. If you join, also in Portuguese language, if you translate it, Gustavo, it will not be a problem. We can put an icon. Everybody can have the main message. Also in Swedish, Christian, if you translate it for you people, everybody can sign. And we should really ask all our members, please sign. It's in my, I hope it will not be running overloaded. It's my email address. It's running into my email address, and we collect all the supporters. And if we will be ready, welcome, Julia. Hi. Hi, Julia. And if we will succeed, Christian, if we can finally have 600,000 supporters, it would be brilliant. Then we can make a newsletter, an email to all of them. Listen, now we want to start a referendum. So we would have the power and we can go to commission. Listen, if you do not change now, with one click, we activate more than 1 million people. And that's my aim, to have a pressure group like the Green Movement and others, and to stay in touch. That's what why I need the support of Kerstin, that we send some information to these people. Keep in action. And it's good for you also. Give us some money for your association if you want to start to fight bureaucracy. Also on a national level, I think bureaucracy kills jobs and it destroys growth. It destroys research and development. It destroys finally our future. So, if you have smart regulation, it could boost the economy, and that's what we really can this transfer from the European to the national level. That's our idea, our vision. And I just saw, I don't know if he can speak, Nikolai Popov from Bulgaria. More than welcome. So we're still growing step by step. So that is our plan with our Stop EU Bureaucracy. And I just see Julia back. Maybe you can tell, she's just phoning. If you finished your phone call, Julia, maybe you can talk about our Stop the Size XXL Bundestag. We are running a very, very good campaign in Germany. And we had more than 600,000 supporters. I think 659,000. We're going directly to 700,000. And we have only 185,000 members. So you see, people are interested in our topics. And if they do not become a member, a donor, actually, Christian, in future with such a campaign, you can activate these people. So, Castillo, this is also important. It's not a call for action that people should spend and don't be a donor today, but for the future, it's a very good basis. If you have a common vision, a common aim, if they support your ideas. So it's not only to get more money, it's only also to what we do, but we try to have more acceptance. So, and if you look, it was by change.org, what is not a good platform for us, but if you have almost 700,000 supporters, you can go to a politician. Listen, if you do not stop, we start. We will start. And that's also to have this power in their back. So this campaign is open to everyone. Everybody can join. And it's very interesting. And Horst and I, we try now to get some money from our Austrian friends too, that we can have a stronger impact to Brussels media. It's not for free. It's very interesting. If we spread a press release, Christian, nobody will write it. You need some support by professionals here in Brussels. For sure, Politico is not our good friend in a political sense, mostly, but you need some results, and that's also when I look to Ralf Schneider, who is the president of the German Tax Journalist Association, member of the board of the European, vice president of the European Journalist Association. We also think about to establish an own journalist association in Brussels, maybe sooner or later, to become stronger. That's also necessary because media in Germany, at least, are not our friends. Because we want efficiency, we want a fair tax. We know to finance the state, and it's not easy. And so in Germany, you have left wing, green, very active and radical journalists, and say like a god, how to say Habeck, the Greens, they really welcome everything what they do. And that even if it destroys the economy, if it's not fruitful, if it's burning money, and it's our job as a taxpayers watchdog to ensure for us, for our children and grandchildren, efficient spending in future and also security, because it makes our Europe not less secure. You have more problems, more conflicts, and that's why we really have to look how we can do this. And I hope that Julia has finished her phone call, then she can talk a little bit about the German situation, what we do. So we just jump a little back to the national reports, but Julia was in a meeting. She's editor-in-chief, and she is also the proxy of Rainer Holznagel. So maybe you can tell about what we do already, what we did with our black book. It's maybe interesting for Christian too, and what is your opinion and what we do now with the election. This is not easy for us, and also indebtedness and the debt break. A big success story, by the way. We had Christian. We succeeded 2013 in the Bavarian constitution a ban of indebtedness in most of the countries. We implemented a debt break and also national level. And we have now indebtedness increased more than 500 billion because we have this special funds for defense and others, what you have to add. So this debt break is very flexible. But there's a strong movement also in the media. I will send it to you also, Julia, if you don't have it, in Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, one page today. You don't read that there was an increase of 500 billion indebtedness in Germany. There's only what you see, the debt break is not flexible, we need more investment. And there's a research done by Yves and Assad saying, listen, sometimes you set up a budget, but you do not even spend the money out of this budget because you cannot real estate. You're not able to build railway. You are not able highway renovation. It's not possible. Then, or even for migrants, refugees. Then they take the money out of this budget, spending it for other use. So it's really very interesting what is going on in Germany. And maybe Julia can give some insights what we did with social media, because we were very active, and also to share a little bit experience. Julia, the floor is yours.
Hi. Yes, we will start for the election campaigns of the parties. We will start the big social media campaign with this focus on Rainer Holznagel, and of course he's the face of the Taxpayers Association, and we will give facts and figures to 3 topics. That will be the federal budget. Michael told something about it, and yes, the Schuldenbremse. What did you say?
Debt break.
Debt break. Yes.
Debt
Sorry.
break.
And the debt break. So that will be the main topic for us. Because it's one of our biggest topics for the last 15 years, and we worked very hard for it. And the next one will be the tax reduction for small self-employment and businesses. So we launched a new website in the next weeks, and we will we will have a lot of videos and small social media items to be very present on the social media channels, especially in LinkedIn and Instagram. So,
thank you, Julia. And I think that's really, really interesting. So this transition, we have this green transition movement in Germany. So we spend billions, but with no impact. And actually, what Julia said with the federal budget, we have increasing revenues. So we will have next year, or the latest in 2 years, we will have 1,000 billions total revenue of the state. So 1 trillion will be the revenues. Unbelievable. But we have still increasing debts. So we spend more. And even with the debt break, what was very flexible in crisis years, where we had more than 500 billion new debts, left, Greens, and Socialists strongly want increasing debts. And if you look to Germany, we had 3.9 billion interest payments 2 years ago. Now we have almost 40 billion to pay interests. So if you have indebtedness with no plan, and that's missing, by the way, in this FAZ article, if you would have a new allowance for increasing debts for investment, you need a law, a regulation, a clear law that the money, the debts must be paid back. And then we start with Europe in 2050, 2035. We start to pay back our next generation fund. And so the politician then will not even know about it. And then you have to start to pay back. And that's a really bad start for the future generation, this huge indebtedness. So when we talk about sustainability, Christian, we talk also about financial sustainability. It's not only indebtedness or climate change to fight for to do something, to have a future. It's also sustainability of finances. Sustainability is not only linked to the climate change, it's also to expanding. And that's something maybe new for your countries too. If you don't combine it, you have to explain, listen, you cannot have more and more indebtedness. It's a state bankruptcy, finally. And your children have to pay the bill. Or parts, what we have now in Germany, if the rich would give their fair contribution and really take care, if you have the G20 discussion, tax the rich. There's a strong development now, tax the rich, what is really stupid because they already pay taxes. And if you're a really rich person, with one click, with your crypto money, you leave the country. For Ralph, it's not easy, and for me, and also for Johannes, for us all, it's not easy. If you have your own house, your own flat, your corporate, you cannot say bye. I'm leaving now to Thailand, wherever. It's not as easy. If you have capital, it's a really stupid situation. So it's really important. And we discussed tax increase in Germany. Julia told it. It's really a bad situation. So that break is a good success story, and tax cuts. But we have really also to fight that we have not increasing inheritance tax, increasing income tax. What is also in the discussion, what is not good for growth. So if you have a recession and then you increase like a restaurant, nobody's entering your restaurant and then you say I have the solution. I double the prices. It will not be helpful. Yeah, maybe you need a new cook, you need a new menu, you need a better service, whatever. But just change nothing, but say no, we take more money of the rest of the customers. It's stupid. So it's that's so all together lessons. Thank you, Julia. You didn't read it, but Christian will send it to us. A ban of plastic bag tax, tobacco tax lowered, and then others tax on expert workers, work income, no tax on savings. They have lots of new successes in Sweden, and congratulations. But I also said, if you have success to cut down taxes, normally you will have no more members. That is a bad situation. If you're very successful, it destroys maybe your association, but that's a different topic. So I see Nikolai Popov. If you can speak for Bulgaria, the floor is yours. Otherwise, we continue. We stop now this presentation, top 7. So please use this Stop EU Bureaucracy. Please support it. Please translate it. It's only some pages. Christian, have a look. And then you can use it and you can link it, because this is a common topic. I think every party, every small and medium entrepreneur, every big entrepreneur, every private person says, I want less bureaucracy. I think bureaucracy is a common sense to fight bureaucracy. It could be interesting for you. Then we open Topic 8, discussion of the targets and activities for 25. One thing is just for you, please save the date, the 19th of February. We will have the Bavarian representation, an event. We say open technology policy for green transformation. Maybe it will be changed a little bit because the green topic is not as, how to say, interesting anymore on the European level, but what we want to do is just this open technology policy. We need more research and development in Europe. We need more investment in Europe. And we need a better strategy. And so the European ministers economic summit and also Hans Seidel Foundation. So it will be a bigger event. And we think about maybe we can plan Horst that we met before with our taxpayers colleagues, share experience. But this will be a very interesting event for you. We will talk to Redison for better rate and these things. And also I've said we get cheap flights. So we will have a look. But you're more than welcome to join it. I think that's a really, really good event for us because the European Minister of Bavaria, he's a very good guy, not because he is belonging to my conservative party. No, he's an entrepreneur and he is very successfully working, and his wife too. So he has an idea what is in for corporates, what is necessary. So he's not a politician in a normal sense, because politicians are often lawyers. Sorry to say, it was politics students former and these things. But Horst is an entrepreneur. He knows the problem of the entrepreneurs, and that's why our Europe Minister Eric Beiswinger is very good for us. And we have a strong support also with Economic Council of Bavaria, Niebler, the Member of Parliament, Markus Ferber, Hans Seidel Foundation. They will all support us. And I think that's a very good event, kick-off. By the way, we will show, we have an entrepreneur from Austria, Obrist, and you can read it. I can send it to you in English too, who succeeded in the transformation from carbon dioxide to methanol. And it's a sub-zero emission. So he takes out carbon dioxide, and with the burning of methanol, he keeps some of the carbon dioxide. It's less than zero emission. It's sub-zero emission. So, and if that's, you can use your gas tubes, you can use the infrastructure, you can use your heating system. You could just change what is nice for Ralf and for me, our engines, fuel engines, a small, for the new engines, a small change. Some euros you can drive your cars with sub-zero emission liquids, finally. And the problem, what is the problem? Normally we say, yes, it should work. It's not accepted actually as synthetic fuel until today. So we need a change of the law. It must innovation open that these innovations are possible for the future. That's what we want to do, and that's why we want him also to show the European Commission what is possible already. And we collect, if you have other ideas and other corporates in your country, tell us. We want like an exhibition, want to show it. The second topic, a proposal by Horst. Maybe you tell about this quarterly expert round, Horst. Explain it.
Yeah, I think we should have a regular, always upcoming activity and workshop or expert round who's only related with taxation and financing and competition. It's only this as the core topics of the European Taxpayers Association to get again a true branding. If we are all involved in fighting legislation and so on, this is very important, and it's also saving taxpayers money. But we need also this experts branding that everybody knows. It's about taxation. It's about competition and financing. We have to go to the Taxpayers Association of Europe. So we should become number one. We have there not so much competition, only the American taxpayers movement is there. There is nobody who is really known as their association who is really covering like this. And I think We have, as I told you, 70% nearly of the MEPs are new in the parliament, and also the commission is a lot of new people. Need now to rebrand it and to say we have this forum, it's regular, and we have these topics, and we have always top speakers there, top experts, and this is something everybody wants to be. And everybody knows all quarter this one event is coming up. I want to be registered. And this
Yes, and it's not and it's not necessary presence. We can do it also digital in parts.
Yeah, agreed. And I would start. I have a list of all tax experts here who are in the association or think tank. Always one who's taking care about taxation financing. I have this list, and we can invite all of them.
I think that's a brilliant idea. We have an exchange with the Chamber of Tax Advisors in this context, Christian. So we can use it because sometimes in parts they have different interests, but in general they are very close to us. And so we need to simplify. We do not want new taxes, increasing tax pressure, and we need the simplification of tax law. And that's really interesting. So, and what Horst mentioned, for us, it's, and I told it already to Julia, if we make monitoring, it's not easy. It's really not easy because tax regulation, there's no commission anymore, one tax commission, one commissioner. It's hidden in sustainability, in the reporting system. So taxation it can appear like a mushroom anywhere in the European Commission. If there's an idea, we need a regulation by taxation, and that's very interesting. And for us, it's not possible to do this monitoring anymore. We have very, very small budget, and we try our very best. And we have a big picture with the bureaucracy, and everybody will understand it. But the real big problem is also for corporates, more and more regulation and more taxation, and how to make the work simpler. So your example, Christian, if you have less taxes and we learn the lesson, like in Slovakia, what will be the impact? So if you will have more growth, that's really interesting to all of us, and that's a story to be told to the politician. If we talk to politicians, and I start in Austria, I was in Austria as an expert invited to talk about the Austrian budget. Barbara Kolm brought me in, and then I started with slow taxes. That if you reduce the tax rate, yes, you're talking about love. It's theoretical. So it's working. LAFER is working. If you have a high tax pressure and you reduce your tax rate, you have higher revenues because it will boost the economy. If you tax more and more and more in Germany, people have a decision now between leisure time, private time, or work. Work-life balance means now life balance, less work. Because they want to have a high taxation and say, why should I work more? If I do not work in Germany, you get even so, it's Bürgergeld, you get lots of money if you do not work. Why should I work more? I want more balance in my life. So what was a big discussion? Fairness. What is fairness? Justice. Big discussion yesterday with a former glass producer, Rodenstock. It was very interesting in Munich yesterday. And it's very impressive. And what is justice? Is it distribution? What is a strong discussion in Germany now? To distribute wealth, tax the rich and give it to the poor. Very interesting. Or make people rich and give them the opportunity to have their own wealth, own flat, own house, security, and higher income by lower taxation. And very interesting. And this will be also political discussion, and it's interesting for us if we have these lessons, good examples out of Sweden and Slovakia and other countries. So thank you, Horst, for this idea with the quarterly expert roundtables. And then we want,
if you
please, Horst,
to add, not only these events I wanted to emphasize, I would like also that we have a tax barometer for every member state. The tax barometer where we say this member state is in favor of taxation and this member state is healthy, that we can show this. I think what the Germans are very good doing, the taxpayers associations, are the symbols. This is very good to also to publish for the press release. If we say again, Sweden it becomes more healthy, Germany is already very sick, high fever, that we can make the symbolic and see then also how the continent is compared with taxation of other continents, if this is healthy or not. And the second thing is the black book for bureaucracy, that we have the most idiotic list of bureaucracy, what is the outcome of legislation. I think this is also something what is super successful is with the taxpayers money was on the German level. But I think if we have one or two, we have not to implement it immediately. But if we have some things that we can is waiting, here will be the new every twice per year or once per year, there will be the new report about the health report of taxation. This would be, I think, a booster for the European taxpayers association.
I think we have material from taxation because they do. I mean, they keep track of both income tax and different types of VAT, so they have a lot of material. I think it's free for us to use, so I think that would be easy to gather the material, I think.
Yes, I think, Julia, that's maybe under others for Thursday. This could be an idea what we can, because Horst and I, we met, it could be very interesting. Fever barometer, we have this, what is very interesting, we have this tax freedom day calculation in Germany. And we had huge problems with media. And 2 years ago, I said, listen, let's say, because it's social security, it's taxation fees, it's much more. And we changed it step by step now to Belastungsbarometer. It's something, it's the same thing, but people cannot attack it anymore because they said, listen, it's not only tax, it's social security, and you get something for it. For sure, it's high, but you get something. And now the worldwide tax freedom day and now it becomes much easier for us because it's a true calculation, small average earner, what he pays. And it's much more than 50%. If your average earner in Germany, 51.7, I think, Julia, is the tax pressure in 2024. Can you imagine? And then we have a discussion to increase taxation to the better and higher income. And those people are those who have the higher income statistically. So that's interesting. And though this bureaucracy, I don't know the fever thermometer. I don't know. It could be very interesting. Tax fever temperature. I don't know the word in English, but it could be very interesting because we need something USP. We need what only we can do with the taxpayers movement. Only we can do it, like our black book. It's for sure you have the Court of Auditors with waste efficiency, but it's unique. It's unique if you collect these and bureaucracy. I have no idea yet. Maybe Julia, we can talk to the European Institute for Public Finance with the professors, because I think for them it will be sexy. They will be very motivated. It's like erotic, a movie for them. Whoa, bureaucracy. Just nobody already counted how to measure bureaucracy. We have for sure cost of bureaucracy, but it's in a different way. A new scala in taxation. What we assume the right level of taxation? We can look to the experts worldwide, but it's very interesting. And then you have the scala with red, yellow, green. Then you can say, listen, it's a normal. And like Tax Freedom Day, like Economic Freedom of the World with Fraser Institute, maybe we have to look, Christian, with whom we could cooperate, Julia, if we are not able to do it ourselves. But we should be leader of this brilliant idea what Horst developed, and we even without wine when we were sitting together. Normally we have lots of good ideas if we drink lots, but it was a very fruitful discussion. And I think that's really good. And I don't see Horst now, but another topic could be out of your country. We will send it and ask all members to certificates for outstanding personalities. We did it with some members of parliament, and we should do it. It could be also someone from commission. We did it with our Taxpayers Award, a European Bull, but a high level. But we want to give a small honor to members of parliament like Lukas Mandl from Austria, who is really fighting bureaucracy. We have Niebler and others who really stand, or Markus Ferber, stand for market-oriented taxation. Also, Julia, if you have an idea whom we could award, I think that's very simple. It's a small certificate, and you cannot imagine. We did it in Strasbourg. They were really happy. It's a sheet of paper, not more. It's not very expensive, but for them, it's like, I don't know, like Christmas, you get a new bicycle, whatever. For them to be honored, not only to attack politicians, also to motivate them. So if you have an idea, Horst has an excellent network with SME Connect, and you must know SME Connect was SME Europe. It was in former years, it was founded by the Conservative Party, but it's not restricted to the party membership. So we have from all parties, let's say, Horst, interesting politicians supporting small and medium entrepreneurs' ideas. And that's really good because it's an open network. It's not restricted. For sure, with our heart, it's a market-oriented, but we have very good people from Italy, socialist, I don't know, remember the name. She's also an entrepreneur from the Socialist Party. So it's not limited to a conservative, a libertarian. It's a good politician. So identify a good guy. So that's it. Or Horst, is it correct like this?
Also SME Connect is first unpolitical, because we are also unpolitical as taxpayers, but it is open platform for all who are close to it. And I have to say, there are politicians with the socialists and also with others. With Greens, it's really hard to find somebody to find a partner, but at least it is also to get the majorities to the parliament. We need to be in contact with them, and it's better not always to fight them, also to embrace them and to have them close, that they are listening. And I have to say, it's also different if you have the socialists from Eastern Europe and others, because they are more business-oriented than the colleagues from Central Europe. But I have to say, the unions, now, I think there is a momentum also with the socialists, because the unions see the factories closing down. There is not anymore about only getting more money and more money, and the unions lost that its track. They are fighting up for green targets, for gender balance. It's all good things. I don't know only why unions are responsible for these topics. And now they're coming back and saying, oh, jobs and growth is something that is important for us. So there's a momentum, and we should make the bridges to the socialists, to Renew and all the others, that we can have them on board in our network. Because EP starts, but not enough to get the things. We should also decide how we handle Patriots and the others. The ECR is clear, this is accepted more or less, but what we are doing with all these other some complicated parties, because
Yes.
work with them together, the other says, oh, you work with them together, we don't work anymore with you together. It's really...
Yes. So I think that's very interesting. So we will make a proposal, and what is really for us mostly helpful if we do it in Strasbourg, because Strasbourg you have less competition with others. Let's say like this, Horst. If you do something in Strasbourg, it's easier to have an access to the European Parliament. If we do it in Brussels, it's for us, it's much more in a competition with others, let's say it in this way. So this could be during a session week in Strasbourg. Maybe we can arrange a meeting. I don't know what is your relation to Swedish commissioner or Gustavo for the Portuguese commissioner. So if you have a good relation, we have a very good relation to the Austrian. For us, it's a little bit complicated to have a date with Commission's president, because it's almost impossible. She's like in a banned area. You cannot. She's like a ghost. You cannot touch her. But we have other commissioners like Dombrovskis. We will have a look, and so maybe we can combine it with a meeting host also.
Würdenfunden is very close to us. She was members.
Yes.
SMU Connect.
Yes. So let's see. So just to give you a short insight, we come up with a newsletter, Horst and I, when we make the minutes also of this meeting, and together with Kerstin, and we think about all the ideas what we can do. And I think what is not in here, and we will set up this WhatsApp group. You don't have to answer. So this expert group to have this alert information. So whom we should add, that you have really, like we do it with our Stop Bureaucracy, who has some European platforms, and then we can communicate very, very fast, because via email, it's if you're like Julia, very busy person, you can have a look on the WhatsApp, and then you're informed, just to keep you informed. I think that's also something what we want to do with this quarterly expert rounds. And then I would like to close, if you have no more further questions, I would close topic 8 and open topic 9, report of progress and the status of working groups. You know, we invited all members of the Taxpayers Association, but the result was not so good. We have to think about to reorganize it with Horst together, and some with our partner, European Economic Senate. We found some interested persons who want to contribute, but that's also, Christian, for all of you, opportunity. So we have 2 interesting working groups: better regulation, competitiveness, finance and taxes. So I think no further progress, Horst, but we start, and you're invited, and we will set up, Kerstin, we will check our email addresses and WhatsApp. We try to get all the data of all our members, and you're more than welcome to say, listen, I'm interested in this group. Also, Julia, out of the German association, it's not limited to me or to Horst, who better regulation, competitiveness, finance and taxes. We can there, I don't know if Ralf Thiesing as the head of the tax committee of Germany, I think he's too busy with his cases at court, but someone who is interested in this topic could be from our institute. And,
Sure.
And then that's a good platform. Johannes, please.
Thank you, Michael. To me, the prime example for the success of tax cuts are still Ronald Reagan tax cuts. And I think the idea to have quarterly expert meetings on the subject of taxation is very good. And my spontaneous idea was to ask Paul Craig Roberts, whom the Americans call father of Reaganomics. Perhaps you can ask him or invite him to take part in one of the workshops and explain what precisely happened in the US.
We can collect ideas, that you send us topics and also names, and we make a list. And so more we get new input, and so better we can prepare it. I think this is all.
I will send you an email.
Yeah. I have just to ask Andreas that we are not kicked out of the meeting. Wait a second. I will have a look if I can. If you are kicked out, we have some minutes left. We have others as a topic. I think we should really have a look if there's if it's out, we close it. But I think we have almost explained everything, and topic 10 is others. So you have the invitation for today, this very interesting briefing about the impact of the new Trump administration. Thank you, Horst. He organized MEP Engin Eroglu, who is the China chair of the China delegation, because we do not want to restrict it to the relation to US. We have a strong relation with China. That's what is very interesting. And actually, we have a ban of China, and then we cannot say, listen, we stop from today until tomorrow our relation to China. What is very interesting. So we want what is the impact with the new administration in US? And if you have no further topic, we would like to close it. Because Andreas showed me alert, because it was planned for 2 hours. Feel free, and then I'm more than happy. I'm sorry, our friends from Ukraine, the line was cut, but next time we had maybe they should speak first, but they are really welcome, and I think it's by heart. And we do everything to support them, because we need peace and low taxes. And with this wording, I want to close and welcome you all, and welcome back for those. Just use the link if you want to join 5 o'clock. We have 1 hour briefing. It's a very interesting topic. And thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Julia. And see you soon, Julia, Thursday with our committee, and Kerstin the day after tomorrow too. And good to see you, Laura, and good luck to Portugal. And whenever you need us, you see the faces. It's good to see each other. It's not too bad. Join us, ask us, and share experience. And to those who reported, please send us some remarks by email, very short, with some success stories. Also, Portugal, what is really good. And maybe, Laura, you can ask our Ukrainian friends what they do, a short summary.
Sure, Michael, I can tell some words about Ukrainian Taxpayers Association, what they're doing.
Okay.
They was and is really busy with continuous job. That was not easy. They still have some people keeping in Ukrainian office, and Ludmila do big job really making online conference and keep all the region together. Some of the regions really complicated to concentrate on taxpayers activity, because it's a real war in all of Ukraine. And they did this year taxpayers award it was offline in Kiev. So it was a big event when the best taxpayers, or the biggest taxpayers, let's say best and biggest taxpayers, was congratulated by Taxpayers Association and tax administrations, and some officials was also participate. You might know how it was in a peaceful time in Ukraine. And actually, Mila was asking about closer contact with European Taxpayers Association, and they really need support and to feel the shoulder near Ukrainian taxpayers in this time. And actually, about the plan for next year, it's also important in my mind, and also from the view of Ukrainian Taxpayers Association, to arrange maybe at least one meeting with Ukrainian regions and Ukrainian Taxpayers Association to share this view, and also important to show how European taxpayers are thinking about the war. Do they feel it's dangerous from the eastern part of from Russian side, and also China and other Asian country which is already involved on this war, and how make Europe peaceful and the world peaceful also. And it's very important for Ukraine and for the taxpayers all over the world, I think.
Yeah, maybe Laura, that's although when we collect these experience, Christian, so that a unique chance for Ukraine for reforms. Also, if you want to set up infrastructure and all other things, that's after the war, everything is destroyed, and they have a big chance to do the right things now. And we can assist with our expertise. And as soon as there's Horst and I, we wanted to come in May this year, but it was not possible for us to make. We cannot force our entrepreneurs to go there. It's say will not come. It's too risky. But if it's possible, we want to make a summit in Ukraine and to assist and to bring corporates and to bring expertise. And tell it to our friends in Kiev, and we really welcome what they do. And it's not easy, and so it makes the right setup with your tax system. It was a good start before the war came. There was a very good vision for Ukraine. We were very happy when we have been there in February. I remember when we had the last level forum in Kiev. But now everything has changed, and we really hope that there will be peace. And with this, I want to end. If there's no more further contribution from your side, then Andreas can change that up, because Horst will stay with Ingo Friedrich. Then we have the European Economic Senate identity, so it's the same room, different display, and some short break. And you're more than welcome to join. It will be very interesting. But if you cannot join, there will be a translation by Kerstin. You see her now. And maybe, Horst, we can, I don't know if it's possible, if only one language recorded. I don't know. That would be bad, because I think it will be very, very interesting. Very interesting. The expertise of Hans Seidel in Washington, Christian Forstner, because he was in head Seidel in Moscow also, because he's very experienced and a very good networker. And also our member of European Parliament, who is chair of the China relation. And that's also interesting from his expertise to see what is necessary, which risks do we have, and what we should keep in mind. So you're more than welcome. Hope we see next time.